Now that we have created a presentation with 4 slides, let's take a look at how it will look to our audience when we run the show. To run a slideshow, you click the Slideshow tab and then choose From the Beginning, which is the very first button. I'll click that button, and you can now see that the first slide is shown to the audience. To go to the next slide, you click the left mouse button, which I'll do, and now you can see slide 2. Click it again, you see slide 3. Click it again, you see slide 4. Click it again, you'll get a blank screen. Click it again, and you're back to PowerPoint. I will now demonstrate how to apply transitions to a slideshow. A transition is a motion effect that occurs in slideshow view when you move from one slide to the next during the presentation. You can choose from a variety of transitions, and you can control the speed and the method with which the slides advance. For example, I'm going to click and select slide 1, click on the Transitions tab, and in the Transitions to this slide group, I'll click the drop-down arrow so that you can see all of the different transitions. They're divided into 3 different categories: subtle, exciting, and dynamic content. I'm going to choose glitter in the exciting category. So I'll click glitter, and you'll get a brief view of what that transition will look like. I'm now going to run the slideshow so that you can see what it looks like to the audience. Another way to run the show is in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. There's a small icon entitled Slideshow. If I click that icon, the slideshow will run automatically from the beginning. So let's do that. You'll see the glitter transition appear and then the first slide. I'll click the left mouse button and you'll see the second slide, but notice there's no transition for that one. There's no transition for slide 3, nor is there a transition for slide 4. So in this example, only slide 1 had the transition applied. Let's exit out of the slideshow and I'll show you why. When I applied that transition, it only applied it to the first slide. And you can see slide 1 is selected and glitter is showing as the transition. But if I click on slide 2, you'll see that there are no transitions applied. Same for slide 3 and same for slide 4. So the easiest way to do that is to click back on slide 1, which has the glitter transition applied, and click the Apply to All button. I do that, and now if I click through the rest of the slides, you'll see that slide 2 has glitter applied, slide 3 has glitter applied, and slide 4 has glitter applied. Let's run the show one more time from the beginning so that you can see how the transition has been applied to all the slides. I'll click on the slideshow button in the lower right. You'll see the transition has now been applied. I'll click it again. You'll see the transitions applied to slide 2. Click it again, slide 3. Again, slide 4. Click it again. Blank screen, and back to PowerPoint. Now let's take a look at some additional options that we can use when applying transitions. I click the Transitions tab, and over to the right of the Transitions to this slide group is a button called Effect Options. If I click on the small arrow, you'll see that hexagons from the left is the default, and that means that the shape of the transition, all the little icons that come in are hexagon, and they come in from the left. If I click that, you can see that hexagon shape from the left. If I click hexagons from the top, you'll see that they come in again, but this time they come in from the top. I'm going to choose diamonds from the right. Let me click that, and you'll see that now it's a diamond shape, and it comes in from the right. And I'd like to keep that one, and I'm going to click Apply to All, so that particular effect will be applied to all slides. Now let's run the slideshow from the beginning to demonstrate what the audience will see. So I'll click Slideshow, I'll click From Beginning, and you'll see that diamonds are coming in from the right. Left mouse click, same thing. Click again, same thing. Click again, same thing. I'll now click to end the show and back to PowerPoint. Some of the transitions do not have effect options. I did pick one glitter that does so that I could show you, but not all transitions have them. Two additional options that you can modify for a transition are duration and advanced slide. Duration is how long the transition actually lasts. In this example, the duration is 3.9 seconds, which is the default. Let's run that and demonstrate. I'm going to click on slide 4 only. I'm going to click Slideshow, and this time I'm just going to run from the current slide. So we're only going to see the slideshow with slide 4. When I click on From Current Slide, take a look at how long the transition actually lasts, and it's going to be approximately 4 seconds. So watch. 1, 2, 3, 4. The transition lasted about 4 seconds. Now I'll click and I'm back to PowerPoint. Let's go back to transitions and let's change that to 1 second so you can see the difference. I've now changed the duration to 1 second. I still have slide 4 selected. I'm going to click Slideshow, and again I'll only run it from the current slide. This time when I run it, it's going to be very quick because that transition is only going to last for 1 second. There you go. You see how much more quickly that transition passed. Let's end the slideshow, and I'm just going to go back and change the duration back to 3.9. As I hit the up arrow, it increases the duration, but I can't get it exactly at 3.9, so I can simply click in the box and type in 3.9. And now the duration is back to its default. Another option that can be modified is advanced slide. That is how we get from one slide to the next. The default is on mouse click. This means that slide 1 will appear and will stay there until I click the left mouse button. Only after I click it will slide 2 appear, and so on until the end of the show. This method is normally what is used since it gives the presenter total control over when the slides will advance. Now let's look at what happens if I deselect on mouse click and select after and enter 2 seconds. This means the slides will advance after 2 seconds regardless of whether or not I click the mouse. So I changed it to 2. I'm going to click Apply to All so that each slide advances after 2 seconds, not just the first one. Then I'm going to run it from the beginning. I'll click Slideshow, and I'll click From Beginning. I'm not clicking my mouse at all, so there's slide 1. I'm not clicking anything, and you can see after 2 seconds the next slide appears, and then after 2 more seconds the next slide appears without me clicking the mouse, and then the 4th slide appears after 2 seconds. 2 more seconds will pass and the slideshow will now end. I'm back to PowerPoint. So that slideshow was run from the beginning without any interaction on my part. After 2 seconds passed, the next slide would appear, and I never had to click the mouse button. Let's do another example. Let's click on mouse click so that both actions could possibly happen, and we'll change the seconds to 7. This means that when I run the slideshow, if I click the left mouse button, the show will advance to the next slide. But if I don't click the mouse button and 7 seconds has passed, it will advance anyway. So let's see what this looks like. I'm going to apply that to all as well. I'm going to click slideshow. I'm going to click from the beginning, and you'll see the first slide. Now I'm not going to click anything, and nothing is going to happen for 7 seconds. So we're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. 7 seconds have passed, and the second slide is shown. And again, I'm not going to click anything. But when the third slide appears in a couple of seconds, I'm going to click the mouse button so that the fourth slide should come up right away. And you can see that I clicked the mouse button, it came up right away, and I'm going to click it again, and the end of the show will come up because that was the last slide in the presentation. In this example, I could have the slides advance after 7 seconds each time, but if I wanted to advance them more quickly, I could click the mouse before the 7 seconds had passed.